There we go. Let's go. I just got the notification for the YouTube.
Oh, you did? Nice. Yeah. Excellent.
Yo.
All right. Showtime. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to GP Tuesday, our weekly AI event. Thank you, everyone, for making it.
The longest running
AI weekly meetup in Miami.
That's
right.
We
started last year in June. Thank you. Let's keep the AI train going.
Yes.
What is GP Tuesday? GP Tuesday is a weekly community group where we bring together builders, shapers, researchers, and people just want to learn more about AI, how to integrate it into our lives. And we're a community that allows that we can all get to know every single week so that we can all stay ahead of the AI wave of change. Everything is moving so quickly, so this allows us to stay ahead of AI and make sure that we're all at the forefront and we can all grow together and learn from one another. I would like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, The Hub.
Yeah.
The Hub every single week allows us the opportunity to have our space here, our community here. We would just like to give our shout out and give a lot of thanks to The Hub. Every single week we have our presentations here, and we've been doing it here for the past 1 year. Yeah. We have many desks available right over here, a lot of beautiful desks and many beautiful offices, some of them interior, some of them exterior, where you can get a nice view of the outside. Podcast room in the back, so plenty of great amenities here at The Hub. And yeah, so that's a little bit about The Hub, a really, really great spot. I'm working out of here, so you do too. We'll be able to run into each other more and more. I'd like to introduce Micah Berkley.
Yeah.
Micah Berkley, amazing friend of mine. We've known each other since very day one of GP Tuesday, since very first day. And he's someone that's actually making money in the industry right now. He makes his whole living implementing AI solutions. So if there's anyone that we should listen to about how to be an entrepreneur with AI, Micah is the person. So thank you again, Micah. But before I take the stage for too long, let's learn how to secure the bag using AI, part 3.
Yeah. Thank you. So I'm terrible with microphone from New York, so I hopefully my voice carries so everyone can hear me. Yeah. All right. So few things before we get started. Usually these presentations of mine are pretty wild, outlandish, and spicy. Today's going to be toned down a little bit. I had a little issue this morning when we actually lost the entire presentation we were working on. But my entire team came together and we kind of whipped it back together. We whipped something together. It's a little bit more condensed, but it's going to give you what you need. And the goal of this today is I want to just demonstrate, which I've been doing with the series now, how you can make money with AI. Everyone's doing stuff with AI. Everyone's playing around with it. Everyone's tinkering with it. And but today I just want to show you some of the ways I make money. And my other presentation kind of went to kind of a deep dive on some of the verticals I'm in and showing a lot more like Stripe receipts and things of that nature. I like to show receipts because Miami is the home of the capper, where everyone will be fronting about how do you make money. So I want to make sure that you can see it. This time I'm not going to be able to show too much, but at the end of this, what I put together today. Again, shout out to my team, the Biscayne AI team. Itai, thank you so much, brother. Thank you for my team. Yeah, for helping me get. It was 12 o'clock this afternoon, and I was panicking, and I had like tears in my face, and virtual tears, And I hit up my boys, and they were like, "Yo, let's do it. Let's make it happen." So I'm gonna thank you. Shout out to my team. So a few things. I usually do get a little wild with these. Like again, it's not as spicy as it usually is. I won't be talking about OnlyFans. I won't be talking about the crazy stuff I normally talk about. If you've been to Miami, any of my previous stuff, I really talk about how to make money in the most eclectic ways. Today is going to be a little bit more honed in, and but if we want to take it to a spicy level, we could do that later. All right. Sorry. So who am I? So a lot of people, you might be meeting me for the first time. I decided to ask AI who I am, which I think is pretty important because now this is where we're going. I don't know if you guys have heard the Search GPT is coming out, right? So the new model that people are going to be using a lot more is searching on LLMs, searching on ChatGPT. So I asked ChatGPT right before I got here today, who's this guy on the stage, this handsome, charming brother. It says I'm an AI strategy implementation architect at AI Success Partners. True. I'm a digital marketing, growth hacking, and lead generation and medium buying expert. So yes, that's also true. So far so good. Former roles are Google, Fashion Nova, BMW, and Google again. Google once, it was capping a little bit there. And expertise in AI implementation. So cloud architecture and SRE, site reliability engineering. So my background is everything is saying up here so far. I believe for the most of it, I don't have to read the rest. You guys can read it. But my background is in two things, marketing and technology. So the marketing side, I worked at Fashion Nova as a global marketing director, and we used tech heavy. It was a very lean company. A lot of people don't know Fashion Nova was the top tier or the top number one direct-to-consumer fashion clothing company. And we did some wild stuff over there with technology using AI. And, a lot of people think, well, it's just a Shopify store, this and that. The company made over $1 billion on a Shopify store. And we did it with AI. So I'll get into that in a little bit. I also worked at Google as a senior cloud architect. And I worked at BMW doing AI for our autonomous AI self-driving car division. So that's who I am. What else to say here? I enjoy photography. Yeah, that's true. Boating, motorcycle riding. This is some pretty good stuff, though. Have you guys searched yourself on ChatGPT yet? I think you should. I think it's going to be important. So one of the things I've been stressing and talking about a lot lately, if you follow me on social media, is how important SEO LLM is, right? How to get your SEO up for LLMs and how your content that you want LLMs to absorb or read about you needs to be kind of top heavy on the page, right? And you can LLMs are not reading your metadata. They're reading actual text on the page. One of the things I've been experimenting with is invisible text. Like we used to do back in the days in the SEO hacking world, right? You drop some visible text in there and, Google will find you because you had like some type of crazy word in there that was popular at the time. That era is coming back, So again, I think this is an interesting phase. I'm glad that GPT got it right. Today there's going to be a few things I'm going to talk about. Again, I'm not going to go too deep into all these, but I'm going to demonstrate how I make money using these different various methods. So we're going to talk about voice and AI hustles, voice and audio hustles, which includes voice AI, which is it's the convergence of telephones and voice AI, AI using voice. Audio hustles. Audio hustles is like making jingles and making music or using AI for voiceovers to make money. Second thing I'm going to kind of dive into is going to be generative visual content. How to secure the bag using videos and photos. There's an entire industry about this. I'm going to touch into it just a little bit. Business automation. Business automation is where the big money is at right now. And the thing about business automation is where a lot of people are starting to step into. It's kind of the gateway, right? So, Michael. Oh, hi. Okay. Whoever's on the screen, my apologies. So, the business automation side of this. Am I good? Test. Business automation using like Make.com or using Zapier and connecting different models with different tools and different SaaS tools out there is a really big market. That's where we're making a lot of the money right now in terms of implementation, connecting shit together. Oh yeah, I do swear a lot. Not crazy, but a little bit. I get a little saucy with it. But business automation, I also think is going to be where a lot of the people in this room, if you're going to get into this to make money with AI, is where the entry money is going to be at, and kind of the bigger bags longer term. Marketing sales, that's my heart. I'm going to share some secrets for using AI to supercharge marketing campaigns, SEO, generate leads, and boost sales conversions. And toward the end, I'm going to if we go to the dark side, we'll go to the dark side, but unique AI hustles and side gigs. So I'm going to demonstrate some of the stuff I'm doing a little bit on the side that makes a little bit of money. All right, so I wasn't able to, the next presentation, part 4, I'm going to really get into the receipts. I like to show what I'm making because I think it's valid, right? I like to show where it's going and how much it can be made. So far this year, in terms of my side hustles, I made about $80,000. And it's all AI-driven money, right? So it's not like, this is outside of my consulting and things of that nature. One of the things I always share when it comes to making money online with AI and these different tools, got to get a CRM, got to get a software to kind of bring everything together. The idea of like kind of ad hocing it and just sending out random receipts and things of that nature, you got to stop that. You got to be able to control what you're spending, see how much you're making. And if you have a lot of various different gigs going on at the same time, you really want to have a CRM to organize. I use Hello Bonsai. Allows me to do my contracts. It allows me to do anything that's public facing for the client and the customer, and allows me to do billing all in one location. So I really love that software tool. Keep your billing simple. If you don't know what to charge, that's fine. Even if you don't know what to charge, that's fine. Always keep it simple though. Keep your options for your services limited. I know a lot of people like to put a lot of options out there. Hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. Whatever your pitch is, keep it simple. Like I don't never like to give more than 1 or 2 different options of whatever service I'm offering. And move your money around quick. I don't know if I get hit because I've been on the dark side for so long, but I know PayPal and Stripe will penalize you if they don't like you doing something that they don't like. So I like to make sure whenever you get that deposit in one of your in the Stripe account, move it to your bank account as fast as you can. Some people like to be able to sit there, and nah, son, you gotta move that out of there. Okay, so my goal here, I want you to start thinking out of the box of how to secure the bag for yourself. So that's the goal for this today. I'm gonna really show you I'm gonna demonstrate what I'm doing, but I also want you to start thinking openly, like, okay, now that I know I can do this with AI and I'm not afraid to like kind of venture into this area, how do I start approaching people? How do I start putting my services out there? You have to be curious in this game. The AI game is moving so fast that you have to stay on top of it. You have to be curious. And you can't be afraid to look for answers. In the AI game, there's no such thing as no. There's no such thing that does not exist. It just I don't know if that exists or not. It exists. Trust me. If it hasn't popped up yet, it will be popping up around the corner. And a lot of I push this to like some of the younger kids I work with, because I work with a lot of kids now. I know it's controversial, but screw the degree right now, right? If you're in a situation where you're trying to figure out whether I'm going to spend all this money on a degree or this and that, a lot of people who are making money with the AI are doing it without a degree. There's nothing that I'm using from Brown University right now. Absolutely nothing. So at this point, I believe that if you really want to dive into this AI career, you could do it without a degree. And launch before you're ready. I know everyone always wants to wait till everything's perfect before they launch their business. Nah, you got to launch before you're ready. I know it's a nerve-wracking idea and concept, but you got to get yourself out there early. Okay, voice AI. So I'm going to slow down a little bit now because I don't have that many slides. So I want to kind of jump into some of these. I'm going to jump into these and slow it down a little bit. So the voice AI scene is blowing up. Now, if you guys are familiar with voice AI, it allows you to do inbound and outbound phone calls. You can make inbound and outbound phone calls using voice now in AI. Are you guys familiar? Have you encountered voice AI tools and software? Okay, so I live in a world now where almost 50 to 60% of my income is from voice, where I'm working with organizations such as law firms. I'm working with teams doing call centers where we have AI now answering phone calls instead of humans answering phone calls. And we do outbound phone calls. Grant and I work with a team right now where they're doing tens of thousands of outbound phone calls at a time, sometimes a day, right? I'm averaging right now between 75 to 100,000 inbound phone calls a week, right? Through our different various AI systems. And it's companies that are using it are like running like campaigns for debt relief, or campaigns for credit repair, or campaigns for Medicare, or campaigns for home repair services. And what they'll do is they'll run advertisements on the internet or in person, on billboards and such. And generally speaking, what usually happens is A phone call, they'll get a phone number. The phone call rings into a call center. Now what we're using voice AI to do is voice AI will answer the phone call. It will do the pre-qualification or whatever screening we needed to do, and then it passes it to the next person down the line. What you want to do is kind of filter out all the noise and nonsense and just have qualified leads coming in. And this is big for companies, right? And it's also it's a very lucrative business right now. It's kind of, I feel like right now it's a race to a bottom because prices are getting cheaper and everyone's getting cheaper on each other. But right now, I think we have probably another year and a half where I think as entrepreneurs, if you get into this game now, you could probably walk away with a nice $75,000 to $100,000 a year with about 3 months of training. I think that's pretty possible at this point. I have colleagues in this room who are doing it right now as we speak that work with me. So it's a very interesting space to be in. I gotta read what I wrote here. Turn AI into easy calls. So AI-based answering services like handling after-hour calls, basic inquiries, and routing. So let's say you're a business like a restaurant, and you don't have the staffing available to always answer the phone. You can set up a voice AI tool to sit there and proxy those calls when you're not available. Lead qualification, like I said, you can use voice AI to qualify prospects and start saving time and resources. Let me tell you some dope stuff I'm doing with this, right? An example is I'm working with a law firm right now who does inbound accident calls. So people who've recently got into a car accident, they dial the number up for the law firm. And what it does is, before he used to have his paralegal answering the phone. Instead of the paralegal, now we have a voice AI system. The voice AI system is set up using Bland. The voice AI system is set up so it receives the phone call, it asks a series of questions naturally, right? And the great thing about AI is that it'll take the conversation where it needs to go, like in a very natural, non-robotic way. So if you say something like, well, I think I was driving a little too fast or whatever, and it will engage with you like a normal human being, which is really dope. But at the end of the phone call, it collects all this information about the caller. What it does is it creates a DocuSign. It sends the information in the DocuSign via Make.com, the automation tool that is a very popular automation tool. It sends all that information to the Make.com. Make.com sends it a DocuSign. DocuSign creates a PDF document, and it sends it to the caller as a text message. They sign the document, and the entire process is closed in terms of the law firm. The law firm now wakes up in the morning, and all he has is signed retainers. Range Rovers and yachts. That's my favorite. Because for the law firm, that's huge now, right? Because now the law firm doesn't have to worry about, pre-screening and talking to all these different people. Now he has a situation where he just has already signed retainers, and where my team also comes in, we sell these leads sometimes. So sometimes the lead may not qualify. Say we're running some ads on Facebook or social media for an accident lawyer, and it's in a state that, the accident happened in a state that, this lawyer doesn't work. We could sell that lead on Offerable or some of these other tools or these other sites for like $400, $500, $600 each. Because for a law firm, that lead is worth $2,500. A law firm, if he gets a lead, a law firm will pay $500, $1,000 for a lead, because for him, he's going to make $25,000 off of it. And there's an entire industry around it. If you ever get a chance, there's a website called OfferVault, FAVAULT, OfferVAULT. And OfferVault shows you all the different agencies and companies that are offering offers for you to buy your leads. And this is where the voice AI world is really starting to dominate, because now you're in a situation now where you can run ads for roof repair, have voice AI qualify the ad, and then automatically send it to another company to be sold. And you're making money on autopilot, which is some of the stuff that hopefully I'll get into. Hopefully I'll get into that. Another thing that voice AI does is voice virtual receptionist, outbound dialing, reminders, follow-up calls with people, things of that nature. I created a voice AI homework helper that was pretty popular a couple months ago, where kids are calling it. I was averaging 25 to 35 kids a day on this call, where they will call it up, they'll talk to it. They're like, hey, I need help with my homework, this and that, things of that nature, and it will answer it. It will just have a casual conversation in another kid's voice, and it's amazing. also for real estate. It's like, so let's say you're a real estate agent that you can't always get to your phone, but you have, several properties that you're working on. You can set up a voice AI where if you missed a phone call, the voice AI will pick up the phone call, and you can actually have like FAQs on the properties that you're managing. And it will, hey, I have a question about a property. Oh, yeah, well, here's some details about that property. And voice AI will have that entire conversation with you, like with that caller, and it will either close the call at the end of at the end of the call. It could close it with, I'll contact you, or a text message or something of that nature. But business doesn't get interrupted because you're not at the phone. But I don't pick up my phone. I don't ever anyway. So voice AI always picks up my phone calls. So this is just a power of voice AI. Some of the players, I had a big screen set up for this, but some of the guys right now in the game, this is a very limited list. Vapi, which I think is probably the easiest way to get into the game right now. Synthflow, some of these guys have actually become my friend recently. These are some really good guys that created some really dope voice AI software. And Bland AI, everyone knows Bland AI is my home team. So these are some of the tools that are available for you to sign up for voice AI. How much can you make on the voice AI scale? It really depends, right? Really depends how much you value your time. On a low scale, you can do implementations between $500 to $1,500. On a higher scale, I have companies that are dropping $50,000 to do some really complex automations, and it's pretty interesting because for them it's such a time saver, right? If you can get these retainers and these contracts so much easier, voice AI is definitely a dope solution, especially if you're running call centers. First of all, I want to make sure I slow down a little bit. Does anybody have questions about the voice AI stuff? I'm going to do a demonstration of the voice AI stuff. We're going to get into that. But let's go beyond voice. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to ask about the latency on the phone call. Is it noticeable or is it pretty low?
So when we first got into this game, I was doing a presentation here like maybe a year ago about the voice AI tools that I was creating. And there was still latency back then. And one of the things I was proud of was I was lower latency. But we're at the point now when it comes to on the engineering side that latency is becoming almost negligible amongst all the companies. It's pretty low across the board, right? Now, are there certain systems that have a little bit higher latency that you would notice? Yes, right. I like Bland personally. I know I have a relationship with Bland, but I like Bland because it's developer centric and it has really low latency for the stuff that we do.
Could the phone call pass the Turing test?
Yeah, because it's GPT. GPT passed the Turing test, right? Yeah, it passed the Turing test. Yeah. Anybody else? Okay. So, we have voice. We talked about voice, but what's beyond voice? Now, there's a whole new industry that's kind of cropped up out of nowhere, which is the AI audio industry. The AI audio industry is where you can make your own songs now on the fly and on demand. Has anybody tried it? Has you tried it? Anybody tried voice AI? Audio AI engines? Itai is a beast over here. He's turned into a super producer. So right now, as we speak, you can drop practically a whole album, high quality. You probably would not be able to tell that it was done by AI. And I'm not talking about like Fisher Price, My First Beats type and stuff. I'm talking about like grown ass full productions and high quality music. And so from my perspective, it's like, how do I flip this? How do I use this as an opportunity to secure a bag? And one of the things I've been doing is doing jingles. Companies like to have music either before or after their videos, or they like to have jingles for their content. So if you're like, you hear all the AC guys all have jingles here in Miami. They all of them have it. Stuff like that you can produce now. And I'm gonna jump into it. I didn't want to get into it too early, because I'll get lost in the music stuff. I'm a producer myself, so I love the music aspect of it. But you can go off Fiverr.com if you just want to create a song really fast and see if you can sell it, or offer that service to somebody, right? If you become a little bit more seasoned with it, you can start asking for a lot more. But the voice AI scene, I think it's going to be something that's going to be very disruptive coming soon.
Two questions.
Yes.
One of the questions is AI voice modulation based on customer profiles. So I'm thinking that means that can you make voice dependent on like a customer profile that you have in the database?
Yeah. So on the voice AI side, rewind. On the voice AI side, there's a couple things that you and I do right now. Where two things, I change my voice depending on the region. So if I'm talking to somebody up north, they're gonna get an north accent. If I'm talking to somebody down south, they're gonna get a down south accent. If I do Florida, Mississippi, West Coast, they all get different variations. I have a video in my last Secure the Bag event here. We demonstrated how I use Pastor Joel Osteen's voice for campaigns and for media campaigns I was running, and it did so well that we had to stop it because people were confused. People really thought they were talking to Pastor Joel, even though he was selling debt relief. So yes. So the answer is yes. You can use any voice that you want. What I often tell people is if you're going to be running a campaign where, let's say you have a TikToker or some type of influencer doing a campaign for whatever your product is, take their voice, sample it, record it, use it into ElevenLabs, and use it for your outbound calling or your inbound answering of your phone calls. It's just continuity with your brand there, right?
One more question.
Yep.
On the Plan AI side.
Yep.
Will we, in the future, will we understand what models are being used as good, or is that kind of how is that going to work?
Yes. So I think so.
Think so? Okay.
I think so. I think that feature should be coming out soon. Possibly. I'm gonna use wisdom on that one. No, but a lot of the different tools that are out there, they show you what engine they're using, whether it's using Claude, whether it's using GPT, whether it's using the more native. And you can kind of choose. Some of these tools allow you to choose which model you want to use. But okay, back to voice. So the voice AI is definitely a very unique perspective because one, it kind of reminds me of what we all went through when we did generative AI for images. You know how everyone became an artist overnight? Everyone was trying to create stuff. I think that's what's happening right now with the audio AI industry. That's kind of bubbling up right now. But the opportunities here are to make music for creators, for businesses and things of that nature. So if you get a chance, there's two really dope tools out there. One is called Suno, and the other one's called Udio. And they're both amazing tools. I personally like Udio a little bit better. But they're really easy tools to use. You type in kind of what you want to produce, and it makes the music for you. Some of the stuff that I'm doing is pretty crazy with it. I don't want to get too deep down the rabbit hole with the audio AI stuff, but like you can really produce some really amazing music. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm actually producing a gospel album, right? A gospel mixtape album. Crazy. I know, it doesn't make sense, but it's happening. And I'm able to do it now. I have the ability to have a choir at my disposal at any time I want because I can now put that into the voice AI. So I need this out of this, right? You can upload music, remix it, have it, do layers on top of it. It's really dope. This is an opportunity to make a little bit of money. What's the money play? Create audio content for influencers. If you guys are familiar with Kai Cenat, some of these young influencers, they're starting to use music at the beginning and ending of their videos, create jingles for businesses, and create dope songs, get it distributed on TikTok and this other platforms using DistroKid or whatever distribution tools that are available. All right, visual content. So the visual AI world is really on a whole different level right now from 6 months ago because now we have video. You know, Clean came out recently, which is like the Chinese version of Suno, Sura, and it's taken over. Also, with hit is it Gen 3? We got which ones we have out there? We got Gen 3, we got Clean, and we got Luma Labs, right? And these guys are really the top tier guys that allow you to create video right now on demand. And the videos that you're able to create are so realistic that you're like, okay, this is pretty interesting. I will play some video that I'll place. Unfortunately, like I said, my previous presentation had this embedded in it. I'm gonna have to go to the web and actually pull it up. But some of the videos that you're able to create now are mind blowing. And what you can do is take a picture of your product and say, okay, take a picture of this cup that I am selling, and I want you to animate the background, or I want you to have people holding it, or I want you to have somebody walking down the street with it, or I want you to have. I'm throwing my brand new sneaker to a dog, and I want the dog to catch it, but showing my logo on the outside of it. You could do that now. right? You don't have to have some type of crazy technical skill to pull it off. You can do it just with natural language. And it's going to be a crazy, interesting season when the political season is starting to really fire this stuff up, because everything's going crazy right now in the world. But people are doing some pretty interesting memes, and they're able to do some pretty interesting content using the visual video AI tools that are available right now. The quick wins: how can AI boost your I'm sorry. Let me read it from the screen. So visual AI is probably one of the easiest gateways into the AI generative revenues. From enhancing restaurant menus with sending food photography to creating a niche books in record time, and revolutionizing e-commerce with advanced image processing, to launching virtual influencers that captivate audiences. Visual AI can turn a simple idea into profitable ventures. I don't know if you guys remember, earlier this year, I worked with Fashion Nova to create three virtual influencers, and the virtual influencers were they bought them for a lot of money, to say that. And the goal was to see how well virtual influencers worked in line with regular advertiser marketing campaigns, and it did pretty well. It wasn't the most successful campaign, but what was interesting was we are now in this place where you can do virtual try-on, where you can take clothing, like whatever outfit you're wearing right now, and put it on anybody else, right? And in the e-commerce world, that's massive. So now if you sell clothing, you sell t-shirts, you sell dashikis or whatever it may be, you can now put this on Drake. You can now put this on whoever you want to put it on, your friends, whoever your model, your ideal customer is, your ICP, you can put your clothing on them. And that's what Fashion Nova was doing earlier this year. And it was an interesting test. The reaction was initially like, but why are you using AI? But then people were like, it almost got to a point where people were like, oh, that's a dope fit. That's a fly little outfit that person is wearing. Where do I buy it? How do I buy it? How do I engage with it? And I think that's where we're going with this, right? I think it's sooner than later, a lot of the content that you're going to be consuming is going to be like clothing on models of people that are like you, right? You're going to be scrolling through. I'm going to see another brother wearing a fitted in his jersey that somebody might be selling, and it's on another brother wearing a fitted like me, right? And I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, that's dope. Get that conversion, and I think that's where we're moving toward right now. Also, the AI photography, I made it to the front of the Miami Herald for actually teaching kids how to secure a bag using stable diffusion and creating photography for food that didn't exist. So I met some young kids in a it's called Overtown. I don't know if that's a city or a neighborhood. That's a neighborhood, right? Okay. So I was in Overtown, and I met some of these young kids who were actually acting up. We were talking about making money, securing a bag, and I was showing them how I was using AI to do images. And what I showed them was like, hey, we can go to a restaurant and like make images of their food. We could take a picture of their food, and we can create similar photos of the items that are on their menu. And at first, no one believed that was possible, right? I remember when we did a presentation here about 6-7 months ago, we were showing pictures of food that no one could even recognize wasn't real. Now, mind you, that was 6-7 months ago. Look where we are now, where you can't tell, right? And it's become a thing to a point where other companies are doing that. There's big companies out there that allow restaurants you send pictures of your food to their restaurant, to their company, and they'll make the rest of the menu items for you, right? In AI. And it's still a valuable business for people, right? So think about this. Most of the food that I order on Uber Eats, because I don't cook, most of the food I eat on Uber Eats is food that I have to have a picture of. I want at least co-sign that's gonna be something I'm gonna eat. That's something I want to eat. With AI, Stable Diffusion, and Midjourney, and these different tools that are available right now, you can now take the same image, create similar images of other food items on the menu, and it looks almost the exact way, right? If you give it a standard image to start, a seed image to start with, it'll match the plate for you or match the setting for you, and it kind of knows if you put the information on what's being cooked or what the food is supposed to look like, or what the food item is, what it's gonna look like. It does a pretty damn good job at it. And these kids made a ton of money doing that. They ran through Wynwood, and Some of these kids were making anywhere between $500 to $700 a day. And when the news caught wind of it, and these kids were talking to the news, they were like, "Oh, this is pretty crazy." And it's something that all these kids were using was this tablets. They were using Stable Diffusion and a tablet or their cell phones to create these images, and it was pretty dope. So yeah, the visual AI game is a game changer. I'm gonna jump into a couple examples right now. Again, learn how AI can boost your restaurant or book creation ventures. You can create books doing this. You can use the AI visuals to create books and like calendars and anything that you can possibly imagine. I'm working with this young woman right now who's doing ebooks or no real books on how to maintain plants, certain types of plants. I don't know anything about plants, but she used Midjourney to create images of plants and how to take care of them, how to prune them, things of that nature. And she's selling it on Amazon. And it costs her $10 a month. That's all she's paying. It's $10 a month for the entire process. So it's cheap. It's easy. It's an easy thing to get into. E-commerce, elevate your online store, avoid AI enhanced visuals. You can use AI now to replace the background of your photos, and you can use AI to create really stunning video and images for like your Amazon store, your Shopify store, things of that nature. AI-powered engagement, discover the impact of AI-generated videos on social media. We already talked about that. And understand the future of marketing with virtual influencers. Virtual influencers was a big thing last year. We made a bag with that one. So virtual influencers is creating people that are just women, generally women, and you can create a page on Instagram, create like 40, 50, 60 different images, and those pages will go, they'll shoot up in the number of followers, right? Like right now, I think I have maybe 4 or 5 pages still that have anywhere between 80 to 100,000 followers on these pages that are all virtual, right? I'm pumping these images out on Stable Diffusion, and now I have teams of people that are working on it. But it was a big thing. Now I want to get into it now just because the numbers are really starting to collapse. But it was one of those things that if you jumped on it at the right time, you could actually pull it off.
It would be fun to see a demonstration of some of those. See what you came up with and what strategy you used to put an artificial influencer out there.
Okay, you know what? Let me put that on my notes so something I can come back to. You want to see some virtual influencers? I got you. Hold on, let's see. Hold on.
Did the change that Meta did, like how they do tagging for AI generated content, did that impact the revenue or the bag?
You know what? Believe it or not, it wasn't that was impacting things. What was impacting was so many people were doing it. When we first got into the game, there weren't a lot of people who understood how to be consistent with the images that were being created. So a lot of people were just putting images of this hot women, which is weird. Everything was weird, actually. First of all, even stuff I was doing weird. It was weird. The fact that I was making money just creating women, it was just absolutely insane to me. But virtual. Hold on a second. Show virtual influencers. Now I won't be able to show how we got those numbers up. I will say is this: we buy influence. When I first got into the virtual influencer scene, one of the things we were doing was we were buying pre-seeded accounts. So you can go online and buy people's old accounts to have 5,000, 10,000 followers on it. You never really want to start from scratch. It's going to take too long. And then what you do is run ads, right? You run ads to these pages at $5, $10 a day. That's it, tops. And you'll start seeing 100 followers coming in, 200 followers a day, 300 followers a day. And it starts to add up pretty quickly, especially if you print out spicy content.
How do you know that the followers are not synthetic themselves?
Well, there's a lot of tools that allow you to see that now. Yeah, so when it comes to running ads, you're not going to really find too many, because fake followers don't follow real accounts. Generally speaking, you'll see how many people will follow to your page based on information that's in that ad. So the ad will say, oh, you 50 new followers off this post, 100 new followers off this post. So yeah. Hold on. Let me just get back to the presentation.
About creating music, did you find the method if I need to replace the lyrics of a song, but the beat, pitch, or like the style of the voice, not necessarily same voice, but
Absolutely.
What do you put to?
So there's a new thing. Well, it's not new. It's old, right? It's called stem separation, where you could take audio, break it down to all the different components, like the vocal track, the piano track, the drum track, the bass track, and you could choose what you want to have removed, or you can just take out a certain track and use it for something else. So what I tend to do is, if you have a song that you wrote and you want to either add to it in terms of vocals, or you want to take your vocals out completely, you can use a stem separator, and there's a ton of them that are available for.
I create one that is actually, because it's easy to create plain text, but how do you create one that actually sings, one that actually sings?
Okay, let me show that to you also. I'm gonna pull up Udio at the end of this. So virtual influences and Udio. Got you. I'll definitely show you. Okay. So easy quick bags. Food photography for restaurants. We already discussed this. This is an easy bag. You're probably not gonna make the same type of money that we were making like 5-6 months ago. You know, I wouldn't charge anything less than $200 for those types of campaigns if you're gonna do that for a business. The great thing about it is if you're already doing photography, if you're already doing some type of visuals, it's a great add-on, right? You can say, hey, I can go to your restaurant, I'll do photography of a restaurant, I'll do some, or whatever it may be, 360 photos, something like that, and you can add food photography on top of it, or vice versa. Offer food photography, but then also add like 360 photos so you can add it on Street View, or people can check out the venue in 360. Book creation, money right here. There's good money happening right here. At first, everyone was against people creating books with AI, and there was a lot of shade thrown at people, right? I did a whole workshop called the Overnight Author, right? You can become an author literally overnight, and I think everyone's starting to get past it now. If you have a dope quality content, I think people will buy dope quality content. But cookbooks, home decor books, culinary books, gardening guys, motivational quote books. This is a nice little wave going on right now. Fitness and yoga pose guides. So let's say you're doing fitness or some type of health, you can actually, do the poses in Midjourney or whatever tool you want to use, and create your books with that, right? And still merge it with whatever you want to contribute to it. It doesn't just have to be all AI. It could be a combination of AI and whatever you want to offer. These projects can be completed in a day, printed in 4 or 5 days, uploaded to Amazon in less than 6 hours. Easy, quick turnaround. Another thing with another money play is image restoration and upscaling. There's a lot of people, especially our elders, who want to restore images. There's a lot of free AI models out there where you can literally upload an image, get a restored version on the other side of it. And I have people at like churches who are starting to do this now and offer this type of service. Again, AI is big business. This right here is all AI photo. This is an AI generated photo. Kind of looks real. It's kind of low resolution, but again, if this was on a restaurant or something, I'd be like, oh, miss, you have my attention. It played. So Uber Eats is already using AI generated content, right? So Uber Eats they'll take a video, they'll take a photo, and actually, this is first of all, this is not real food. But secondly, they're using it now a video where, they're doing slow motion zoom in shots and dolly shots and things of that nature that you would not, without having the actual food there. Like they're dropping videos about food without actually having the food. I think this is dope. I think this is a great opportunity if you're in the marketing game. Again, with using AI for image and video, increase customer attraction. You can definitely help increase your leads and cost-effective marketing. You're barely spending any money on this. I mean, I think Gen 3 right now, which probably Gen 3 and Kling are less than $10 a month or $15 a month. So that's what you're really not spending that much money on these services to pull this stuff off. AI books on virtually any subject. This guy he caught a lot of shade because he wrote a best-selling cartoon, a children's book, and he put it up. I think he made it in like 24 hours or 36 hours, and it did numbers, right? He made a bag off of it, and a lot of people do shade at him. If you look up his name, Amari Reshi, or I'm not sure what his full name is, but there's a lot of articles about how he made this book, got all this attention. It was a really well-written book. he used Midjourney for the images, but he wrote the book himself. And again, you can become an author overnight. Quick turnaround, complete book projects in a day, print in 5 days, upload to Amazon, and the diverse opportunities. You can do cookbooks, home decor books, coloring books, etc., etc. Spicy. Okay. Whew. The virtual try-on. The virtual try-on, like I was speaking about this earlier, money play right now. So money play. The reason why I think it's doing so well, because one, a lot of people don't realize how easy it is or what you need to do to actually pull it off. You know, I use a tool called Virtual Try-On, or can I get a charger?
Yeah. What kind of charger you need?
I need a USB. Yeah, USB-C, please. Okay, so the virtual try-on allows customers to try on clothing and accessories, providing a realistic, interactive shopping experience. This AI technology allows customers, they allow to see what it will technically look like on the person, right? And you can, these are the plays that we're making right now. So you can use it to, thank you, brother. Like this fit, I wish I had the other picture of the dress alone, but this dress, so this is one of my models I have on Instagram. I think she has like 60 or 70,000 followers. And what I was doing with her was just trying on clothing. So I was fitting her a lot of Fashion Nova. This is a Fashion Nova fit right here. Let me see if I can pull it up. This is a Fashion Nova fit right now. So she's not real. This is a Fashion Nova outfit with a Miami background. And, you know, for us as people who are doing influencer marketing and things of that nature, you know, a lot of people don't know how this game works, right? As somebody who, if you're selling clothing or you're an affiliate for a company, what they do is give you a unique URL for your marketing, right? So let's say let's say I'm a supermodel or an Instagram model, right? I'm working with Fashion Nova. They give me unique URLs to share with my audience. That leaves a cookie on your laptop or your phone for 30 days, either 2 weeks to 30 days. Any purchases that you make will be attributed to that person. Their goal always is to make you click those links. Under any circumstance, just click those links, right? And that's where the real money play is, because you don't have to make the money right now. The conversion doesn't have to happen on your page immediately. It can happen later on. But if I'm sharing Fashion Nova after Fashion Nova after Fashion Nova, and I'm making, you know, 10% or 5% on each item, that starts to add up when you have a lot of followers. So these plays right here are becoming like something that's becoming a little bit more interesting now, because now I can create the model, I can create a following for the model, I can put the clothing on the model, and I can secure the bag with the model, right? Without having a model. It's crazy. Now women are looking at me like, yo, bro, come on. But it's actually, I think women do a better job of marketing women than men do. Men are really weird and thirsty, and they do really weird and thirsty shit. But honestly though, it's an opportunity for anybody to get into this. And it doesn't have to be models, right? It doesn't have to be, it could be, let's say you are doing something with lawn care or something, that some other products. Your job as a marketer is to make somebody click, right? And then once they click, using AI to assist you in that process, you can now start making, you know, extra money and extra revenue on the side. So this is these are some of the plays that we're making right now. The virtual try-on stuff is good money right now, right? Especially if you start working with some e-com companies. Again, this is the original photo. These are all Instagram OnlyFans. Not OnlyFans. Oh my God, I'm gonna get in trouble for that. These are all Fashion Nova models. Ladies, please forgive me for that one. So the woman on the left-hand side, this is the outfit that she was wearing. I took this test model right here, which was just another, she was on Fashion Nova also. You guys know there's a lot of Fashion Nova stuff here. And I was able to transpose the outfit onto her. And I did this in seconds. And it cost me like 0.003 cents. That's how cheap it is, right? And there's models of, let me show that too. Let me make sure I pull that up right now. Virtual try-on. And what's really amazing about this is that, sure, there hasn't been any really amazing tools yet that have been released to the general population, at least, that has like a really easy way of doing this. What I use is a tool, a website called replicate.com. Replicate.com has a whole bunch of models that you can interact and interface with. And what you do is upload one image, upload a second image, you run it and it spits it out. It's not cute, it's not sexy, but it works. And this is why I love these AI models, because there's AI models for everything. This one's called Virtual Try-On. It's really dope.
Does
Okay.
it give you a JPEG or does it give you like a PSD file that you can hit the layers to modify it if you want?
No, it's just a JPEG or a WebP.
Is there any tools for like how people take a picture and then use the virtual?
Absolutely.
What's the name of it?
So again, and so you can still use the Virtual Try-On. So you want to take a picture of yourself
Yeah, kind of.
and then put the outfit on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you'd use
Also, any kind of link on the
yeah you'd use the same. You use the same exact tool.
that's the name.
It's called virtual. It's called VTON, which I'll show in a minute. But VTON again, it's a replicate model that you can go onto replicate.com, grab this model, and just upload the photos you want to upload. So take a picture of yourself, take a picture of the fit, and then a second later you have yourself wearing that fit. Does that answer your question? For our presentation that we did with Biscayne AI, this is one of the shirts that I had in my room. I couldn't wear it because it was a little bit young. Maybe it shrank as it got delivered. This is a picture of Drake. This was during that whole Drake beef when I dropped this. That's why I used Drake. But here's Drake wearing that same shirt. It took seconds to make, right? And it looks better on him than it did on me. I can show you that. So when it comes to the visual AI, the visual aspect of AI, the money plays are offer services to assist writing ebooks, or physical books. Use Claude or ChatGPT to do most of the heavy lifting. Services like food photography for restaurants are starting to become popular. All it takes is $10 in a Midjourney account on a tablet. Offer services to upsell businesses. Offers AI services to upsell business services. For instance, photography and AI. So I guess what I was trying to say here was you can offer additional services with AI in addition to your services that you're already offering. And the e-commerce space is right now is ripe and ready for like AI to just come in and do all sorts of craziness, right? From image enhancement to virtual try-on to SEO, there's huge opportunity. Boom. Business automation. Now this section right here, I did a lot of work on and I couldn't show it because I don't have it here today. But I'm going to touch on some of the automation stuff that we're working on and stuff that I'm using to secure a bag with. Okay, so how to automate to dominate, building AI powered systems. So automation is big business. Like I talked about this earlier, big money in the automation game right now. Integration is big money. So it's actually huge business, but you need to stay current with trends. By connecting data, processes, and models, you can make companies more efficient and secure significant profits. First thing I like to talk about is automating paperwork processes. You will be surprised how many businesses still use paper, right? It's crazy. Like whether you're at the city of Miami or you're working at a local church or you're doing something where, I don't know, right? There's a lot of companies that still use paper. You'll always win with this because there's so many tools that allow you to automate the process of converting paper into data really easily. I'm going to show that in a second in a screenshot. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm using AI to automate the processes of onboarding and getting information in for law firms. So I implemented a process for a law firm to convert Miami police reports into Microsoft Word PDF files using Instabase. Instabase is a really cool tool, which I'll show next. It costs $2,500 for me to do this, and they pay me like a monthly maintenance fee, but it saves them tons of work. So what happens is this law firm has to get all these police reports, and even though they come in digitally sometimes, it's still paperwork, right? It still has to be scanned, it still has to be read into the system. So there's tools like Instabase that allow you to create a system where it tells AI what to look for, right? It picks that information up and it drops it in a spreadsheet or drops it anywhere you want it to go. And it's super useful for people who need these services. Another thing that we're making a nice little bag with is AI content. So I use AI to do review pages in Chicago. So I have a review Instagram and Facebook account of date nights locations in Chicago. I got one in Florida also, but it's not as popular as the one in Chicago. But what I use is I go to Yelp, I grab all the information about a restaurant or a store, and I'll go on TikTok to see if there's any videos or any content about it, and I'll pair them together. I'll use AI to write a dope review about why this restaurant is a dope date night event. I'll pair it with some content. I'll tag the content creator, make sure they get the attribution. And for me, it makes like a couple bands a month in terms of the amount of people engaging with the content. So this is something I'm going to show in a moment also. But let's talk about the automation process first. So this tool is called Instabase right here. Again, these tools are virtually free to me, right? In my eyes, right? They cost less than $15, right? This tool allows you to upload a resume. You choose what fields you want to extrapolate or to extract, and then you set it up to what you want to do with that information afterward, right? So what's dope about Instabase is that you can set it up where a customer can log in, they can start uploading documents, and it does it for them automatically. Whatever routine you set up, it just does it for them automatically. So if it's the police department, if it's a police report or whatever it may be, they just upload it, and whatever you have set up to come out on the other side, it does it for them automatically. They don't have to think about it. You just created your own mini app. So this is why I really like Instabase. It's an easy bag to make if you have a company that has those types of needs. It does stuff also with ID verification and validation. Any type of data you can take in, you can automate with, right? You just have to find a way to get it in. So whether you take a photo of it or it's being scanned or whatever it may be, you can create automation for this for days. I prefer to not code if I don't have to code. I'm not a big, I used to be a bigger developer than I am now. The no code, low code world is massive. If you ever felt like I want to create an app, I want to do something, but I don't really know how to code, I know how to develop, can't do this shit, there's a whole new world out there that's available to you, especially with Claude that just came out, the Claude 3.5 Sonnet. I won't get too deep into that right now, but there are tools and this is different services out there that allow you to create apps just using business logic, right? You kind of string things together using nodes or kind of just have AI kind of walk you through creating these different tools. But the no-code world, just look it up, is huge. Also, one-trick pony apps are big business right now. You know, you've seen the tools that, you've seen the websites that are like, that do image enhancement or like face, what do you call the sites that take a photo of you and make a new photo? Headshots, right? So we have a couple of friends that do headshot photo apps. They're making a killing on it. The headshot game was a big game for a while, right? Where the idea of having an app that you create that does this one thing really well, you can make a bag with that. I don't have any apps like this, unfortunately. I wish I had a unicorn that can make money like that. But it's lucrative and it can be done. It's something that anybody, I won't say anybody can do.
I have a question about the no code. I mean, how scalable it is. Because they say when they usually try to increase a no code can still kind of support all the people in the alpha now.
Yeah, so right now with no code, for instance, I use no code or low code tools like make.com to process almost 100,000 calls a month, right? After every call, information and things need to happen, right? That's not a problem. I don't think the thing I love about no code is that it scales itself, right? So if you have, let's say you have a tool that removes the background out of an image, right? Or an AI model that does that. As more people sign on and start using it, it scales itself. So it creates multiple instances that you can't see, but it creates instances that can handle the load. And when it's done, it collapses itself. So you never have to see the infrastructure side of that, right? But for you, your services are always available. And when it's not being used heavily, you know, then it's not something it's just a small little service. But in terms of what you see, there's not too many no-code tools that are available right now that I wouldn't build on in terms of scaling. Most of them handle most of the stuff I do. I do some crazy stuff. I do a lot of crazy traffic around. So there's not too many platforms that I can say that can't handle scaling anymore. Because Zapier, there's companies that built entire infrastructure off that, right? There's big companies using these tools for automation, like massive companies. So I think that when it comes to no code, low code, scaling shouldn't be the issue. What you should be more focused on is just making sure you have a solid product that works. So marketing sales, again, I really was disappointed because I love showing the finesse of the marketing finesse that I use. Some of the stuff that I'm doing to make money with AI, using AI to make money with, is AI generating landing pages. Right now, anybody can make a landing page in 30 seconds. Yeah, a landing page or a website in 30 seconds. There's a ton of tools out there that allow you to literally go in, type what you want on this website, and it will make the website for you instantly without you having to think about it, right? And it usually costs like $5 to $10 for you to maintain it a month. So if you have a company or you have an idea, you have a concept that you want to spin up, you can go to any one of these AI generators, website generators, and spin up a page really fast. AI for ad copy. I'm gonna show you how I use AI for ads in a minute, so I'll skip that one. AI for SEO. If you were at my last presentation, I did a kind of a deep dive on how I take all the inventory in a Shopify store, I download it as a CSV file or an Excel file, and I use AI to rewrite all the descriptions that are SEO compatible, SEO optimized. And then I re-upload it again, so all the items change at once. So if you're not familiar with SEO or e-com, I'm probably talking crazy to you, but if you are familiar with this, this is a big deal in big business. It's only because you can drive more traffic to your site without having to do a lot of work. AI generated email campaigns. I'm going to show a photo of that. AI personal assistants. This is something that I do a lot, where I use. Let me see. Oh, damn it. Give me a second. What I like to use is I use OpenAI to create virtual versions of me. So what I've done is a lot of people are familiar with ChatGPT. That's the front end of OpenAI, right? That's the cute version. On the back end is an entire ecosystem that exists where you can create agents, you can create bots, you can get API keys and connect OpenAI to other tools and things like that. And on that back end side, I'm able to create these things called assistants. Assistants allow me to create a virtual version of me. So I have one called Micah Writer, right? And hopefully I can pull this up. So it's not pretty at all. But what this has is
Is that the assistance API?
it's assistance API, yeah. What this has is, and actually it's not actually showing, but what it has is, did I actually delete it? So there's two things it's supposed to have. There's supposed to be some additional files that are in here. You can upload documents you've created. You can upload, content you've created. I download all my LinkedIn content. I download all my Facebook and my Twitter content, and I upload it into OpenAI, and I use it to teach it to talk like me. I have a very unique vernacular online, and I know if I just had ChatGPT write something for me, it's not going to come out the way I want it to write. It's going to come out the way I want it to sound. But if I say, write a short tweet about the new Range Rover Sport 2024 and how I love it in my voice. Now, what's cool about this is that I can actually call the Micah Writer from other tools. Okay, so it's writing in a way that other tools can use it. So I'm going to simplify this real quick. I'm going to say plain text. So just got behind the wheel of the new Range Rover 2024. I'm absolutely electrified. I don't know why I said electrified. That's not a word I would ever use. This machine blends luxury and power seamlessly. So it's kind of like me. I guess I would have to, like I said, with those files missing, it doesn't do as well as I would speak. But it does use the emojis, which is I use emojis like crazy. But here's the thing, right? You can use this to write articles. Almost all the articles on my LinkedIn are all AI generated. Like I don't have time to be writing that shit. And I give it a lot of the details that I want, right? The stuff I talk about on my LinkedIn is pretty deep, right? So it's like me connecting these crazy services together or finding new ways to, engage and do stuff with like voice AI, whatever. So I'll throw in all my notes that I've created and I've captured, and then I'll use a tool like this to write it in my tone, in my style, my voice, and then I put it up there, and it does what it does. So these are different tools that are available. This is free. It's not free, but this back end to OpenAI is free, right? You can just log into, I think it's platform.openai.com, and you get access to a bunch of different things, right? You can control how the chat chats with you. You can create assistants to do a myriad of different things. I have a whole bunch of stuff in here, and 89 court case. So that's another thing. Court case assistant I created. So if I have friends or myself was trying to get out of a ticket, I've uploaded all the different court rules for whatever jurisdiction that I might be in, right? And I'll say, hey, write a motion for me to do X, Y, Z. I've been teaching. I've been working with a lot of fathers who have been going through a lot of stuff with, parenting and child custody, and I've been creating these different assistants to help them write motions for their cases. It's a personal thing for me because I've been in that situation before, and the fact that we can use AI now, where we can kind of pre-train it with data and pre-train it with information, and it helps you write things in a way of, that is proper and it uses the vernacular of an expert lawyer is important, right? You don't want to write something that's you might not have the vernacular for. So this tool, these assistants are really, really useful in that manner. So again, I didn't want to deep dive into this because I know when I start showing examples, I can go crazy. But this is a way you can use AI to kind of mimic your voice, mimic your style. Okay. PR media generator. I create all my press releases and my media content using AI. I will never write a press release again. That doesn't make sense. Building backlinks and offerings. This is a great service to offer people. If you are in the media game at all, offering press releases and media content and having AI write articles and things of that nature it's an easy layup for you, right? It's an easy add-on. So in this example right here, I'm demonstrating how I use AI to write ad copy. So this is a Medicare campaign. So I'm asking ChatGPT. I gave it some details about the campaign I wanted to create, right? So I'm not sure what the details were, to be quite honest with you, but I do know that it has to be people over 65. It probably is somebody who's in good health. It's probably, certain states, whatever it may be. But it will take the content and turn it into ad copy for me. Turning 65, secure the golden years with premium medical coverage. Are you about to turn 65? Ensure your health is in safe hands, This is all being made by AI. And what I do with this is I upload 5 or 6 different copies at once. And I'll let the market tell me which is the better performing copy, right? So if you're running ads on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be, it allows you to do A/B testing, or you can put up 4 or 5 different variations of an ad, and it will present all of them to the audience. And you can see which one performs better than others. This right here is a time-consuming process that I hate doing. I love running ads, but I hate creating the content sometimes. And these people are AI generated. So this campaign is completely AI end to end. Another one is, excuse me, I'm getting a little dry here. This is my partner, Sam's company. And we've created this image right here in Canva. So the image was already created. So we created the image, but we didn't have content for it. We didn't have an ad created for it. So what I did was I uploaded this to GPT-4o, and I had AI create the headline text, the primary text, and description text for this ad, right? So you could take a visual of maybe you cooking or you doing something at your business, and you might finesse a little bit, bringing it into Canva, so you kind of just give it a nice little touch up and put text on it. But you might not know how to turn this into an ad. You can go to ChatGPT. You can actually ask it to create text for you for your ads. So primary text, headline text, description text. There's a whole science to this, but I want you to see that this is possible. So when you run a lot of ad campaigns, this is an easy layup for you, right? Where you don't have to think too hard. So if the customer already has content, it's easy for you to put these campaigns together pretty quickly and do A/B testing after that point. If you have ever received any of the Biscayne AI emails, these emails, they're dope emails, by the way. These emails are almost all AI generated, right? So we were able to maintain a newsletter using AIs, right? So what I do is I'll go to Twitter, I'll get the latest news, the latest whatever that's happening, and there's a style and a voice that we use. So I'm using the platform that OpenAI Assistants, and it will create the content. It will do and all the emojis and the short paragraphs and things like that. This is all AI generated, and it works, right? It's something that works. So if you're let's say you're running a business and you don't want to maintain your email list, like, right, come on, I don't want to do this right now. You can use AI to help you out with that, especially if you're using assistants on OpenAI. Again, save time crafting emails, keep readers engaged. Great. Go ahead. So what we've noticed is this, in terms of the email campaigns that I'm running, the open rates are generally determined by your subject line, right? So sometimes AI will do a pretty good job on, especially if you do like light clickbait, you write that into your prompt. So I'm not really good at writing subject lines. So for the most part, it does better than me. Where it really starts to sell is when I notice that AI generated emails have a better click-through rate because people are actually reading to the bottom of the email now. Previously, I would put an email out, people would read it a little bit, this is cool, and keep it moving. Now these emails are being read because there's interesting content throughout it and it's written well, right? There's not really like a drop off. So, AI copywriting sequence and audio gold. I would have not thought to write that, but AI thought to write it, so people are going to continue reading. If there's a link at the bottom of that page, I have a higher click-through rate in those situations. Okay, I know this is long, but there's a lot of topics I didn't get to cover, and I was going to choose one or two that we could talk about. I have a list here of the stuff you guys want me to demonstrate to you, so I'm going to do that first. But things I didn't get to cover for this presentation because of my presentation failure: monetizing social media content, creating and monetizing social media content like I did with the Facebook the date night pages and things of that nature. AI powered. It's not really a flower shop assistant. I'm using it for floral shops like on peak season, right? You can set something up with Blend or one of these other voice AI tools, and you can create AI powered assistants for them. SEO with domains. I be going crazy with SEO, and I buy my domains for $1, right? So I use Namecheap. Not Namecheap. I use Iono. So here's a hack, right? I have thousands of different hacks. One of my hacks is I buy a domain a day almost at this point, and what I'm doing is I buy a domain for $1 on Ionos. And Ionos, I'm gonna show it for you. Yeah. So let me show you my hustle. Let me show my hack. So Ionos allows you to buy one domain, but you can only do one per account. Makes sense, right? They don't want you going crazy. But one thing a lot of people don't realize you can do with email is set up a catch-all address. If you own a domain, you can set up a catch-all address. A catch-all address means anything that is not addressed to whoever. Let's say it doesn't have a person to receive it. It goes to a general inbox. So I have an email address, the AImogul.com. I don't care what you email AImogul.com, it's always going to come to my personal email address. Now, how is that useful? Why is that important? Because since I can only make one account per email, I use this now to make a new. What I like to do is this. For instance, I'll make an email so you can see I have a bunch of them, right? So I have oops. So you can look up a domain, right? Let's say AImogul2.com, right? And it'll say, give me your email address, and I'll do the AImogul2 at the AImogul.com, or I could do AImogul3 at the AImogul.com. It will always come to my main email address. So I'm using that to buy tons of domains. And the reason why I do that is because I use websites like expired domains. Hold on a second. Expired domains. I do a lot of SEO hacking. Say it again? No, I'm not doing PBMs, man. So why I buy domains is because I buy expired domains that have traffic, right? Hold on. Yeah, it's way easier if I do this down here. So now we're in the hacking stuff, but so expired domains are important. The reason why I like doing expired domains is because I can find a domain that just expired that has a ton of backlinks, right? So let's say, for instance, I'm gonna show you my watch list. Now, don't be buying everything off my watch list because we're gonna have beef with each other. But let me show you some of these. You're gonna be like, yo, that makes sense, right? Hold on, watch list, and let me filter out stuff that is not. That stuff that's only available. So why would I do this? The reason why I do this is because I use a website called card.co that allows me to create landing pages very easily, right? I can create a website in like 15 minutes or less, right? And what I do with that is I use that to create. So I'm not sure if you can see this here. Let me see if I can zoom in. So these are all these are all domains on my hit list right now, right? Now I know some of y'all gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take some of these, right? That's fine. They've been sitting here for a while. I've been cherry picking at them when I want to. VoicePoweredAI.com, great domain name. Like if you're doing voice shit like I do, it's a great freaking domain name. NeedRepair.com, if I'm gonna run an affiliate campaign for roof repairs or something like that, I'll buy this domain. It has 60 backlinks and yeah, it's great. So why do I do this? It's because I can use it to drive traffic to to projects or websites to the office that I want. Also, it's good to have a cool ass domain if you're like spinning up projects, right? So sometimes I like to look here first because from here, let me see if this even makes sense. So we're now going into the deep end because this is not really AI related. It is AI related if you're going to make an AI generated website. So for instance, I don't know, some of these might be spicy. So I'm going to be, look at selling. So that's a misspelling, but it gets traffic. Get online car insurance quotes.com. It's an easy one. It's an easy layup if you're selling insurance, right? So you run a Facebook ad, you use this domain, you use AI to generate the ad, you use AI to generate the copy, you use AI to generate the images, and you use car.co to do the landing page. And this is how we do these online businesses. These are how we start putting these offers together. Now we're daisy chaining shit together, right, to make a nice little business for ourselves. So autoaccidentdefense.com. Again, I'll take this domain. I'll create an ad for it for some type of accident lawyers in Miami or whatever. Or I might even run it on a billboard or something of that nature, right? Have voice AI answer it, do the pre-screening, and I'll sell those leads to other people. Right now, I have an automation process where now it's just making money on its own. People are calling in. I'm spending like maybe $50 a day on it, or $25 a day. People are calling in. It's filtering out people who don't qualify, and then it sells it on a website of OfferVote. Now, OfferVote is, I know this is, again, I got to get to the other stuff that's on this list, but I will show this to you really fast so you guys can see how this works. Give me a second. So here we go. So these are all different companies that buy leads, right? So these are people who buy pay-per-call leads. So these are leads that are coming in from a phone call. So if you have somebody looking for Medicare inbound and say they want to sign up for Medicare, it's $220 per lead, right? That's how much money I make. That's my take-home pay. Right now, I might have spent a little money to get that, so you have to work out those numbers. But again, motor vehicle accidents lead generation, $180. So for every time I send them a lead, I get paid $180. So this is when it starts getting into that pretty interesting world that we're daisy chaining AI and marketing together to make like passive income, passive money. OfferVolt, V8. My New York accent doesn't like. It sounds like I'm saying volt, like electricity, but my New York doesn't allow me to say vault. It's volt with the U, LT. So yeah, that's what this is. Okay, so I have a list of things I said I was going to show you. I'm going to show you right now. The first thing I was going to do. Okay, so Udio, we'll do the virtual try-on. Let's do virtual try-on first. Virtual try-on, and I'm going to do BTON. So I'm going to introduce you to replicate.com. So replicate.com is a really simple website that allows you access to a whole bunch of different AI models. But then we put on VTON. Bless you. Double bless you. Okay. So this is virtual try-on. It looks really boring, right? It's not sexy. It doesn't have any cute interface. You got to sign into this website to get to this model. This model is actually called VTON, IDM VTON. And you upload an image of a clothing item, and then you upload an image of a person, and then you literally press go. And it'll put that cat shirt on this person. Now, it seems so simple and trivial, but this is huge for people who are selling clothing.
Can we change the angle? Will it do that?
Yeah, so if he was leaning a little bit this way, the shirt would be.
Would it imagine, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So you saw the picture with Drake. My picture was straight on,
Oh, all right.
and Drake was walking like this. So absolutely, it does an amazing job at it. Now, because it's interpolating what it should be or could be, it might have artifacts that don't exist.
It's imagining the rest.
Right. So it won't work if you have a very detailed shirt. But if it's a shirt that's a floral pattern, for the most part, it will be contiguous.
Would you give it multiple images of the shirt and kind of understand that there's the left side, there's the right side, and kind of piece it together?
I haven't seen a tool that allows you to do multiple images on the inbound. I haven't seen that yet.
Basically 2D, that's 2D to 3D with the spatial element.
Yes, you're absolutely right. At that point, you are entering into that realm of spatial elements because it's mapping the shirt now. It's mapping the body at that point. But again, so for you to the cost of this right here to execute this, let me see. So for 35 runs, it costs $1. You could sell this. So for instance, there's a what's the name of her store? Oh, that's terrible. Hope she's not watching. There's a woman downtown right now. She runs a, what do you call those, consignment shop? She runs a consignment store. And I was talking to her about AI and stuff I was doing, and she was saying, yeah, I have a consignment shop. Maybe I can use it at the consignment shop. I was like, yeah. And when I went to the shop, she puts stuff on Instagram, but it's always just hanging on a rack. And I don't know about you. I can tell what my clothes look like on a rack. I don't know how women do it because it's like mad tiny. Well, not always tiny, but it's just like, it doesn't always show the same. But now she could take the photo, she could take a picture of the item and now put it on a model. It doesn't have to be a supermodel. She can use a model of somebody who would probably be wearing that item. And it's instant for her, right? She can do it in seconds. You could offer this as a service. There's a lot of people offering this service, but it's something that's pretty dope, right? Let me see. These are examples. These are examples that they use. I get scared to pull up my examples because
If it's so good at putting the clothes on, it must be equally good at taking them off. Could you upload a picture of the person and just say, remove the clothes?
Well, now with this model, is it possible? Absolutely possible. But yeah, now with this model. But again, look at this guy, right? He's wearing these pants and he puts them into these shorts. I think it would be valid. This is Shopify ready. I mean, it's a terrible match, right? Like, there's no way. You should never wear two blues like that. But here's these pants. Here's the woman. Valid, right? And this is where we're at right now. This is some of the wild stuff we can do. The great thing about Replicate is they have so many AI models to play with, right? They have regular models from like the ChatGPT chat type models. Go to Explore. So the new AI, like the new Meta models that just came out, they got language translation models, image captioning. If you want to put captions on videos, they have models for that here. A lot of the websites that you use this as the back end. There's a lot of big services. Oh, sorry.
What's the best stem separator?
I'm glad you asked. So it's actually here. It's called MVSEP. So yes, I did. Let me pull it up here because I can give you examples of stuff I've already done. So the question was, what is the best stem separator? So now we're in the audio world again. So a stem separator allows you to upload a song and then use AI to extrapolate each stem or each element of the song, whether it's a piano track or the drum track. Now, it doesn't have to have, so as a studio engineer, I mix everything down into one track. As AI, it does the reverse process for me, right? So in terms of there's two of them that I use. I use one called ElevenLabs.ai, and I also use MVSEP. ElevenLabs.ai is a really popular one because it's it's public facing. It's not like an AI model like this. This AI model right here, MVSEP. And I'm gonna play a song.
That's a different website, LALAL.
LALAL.ai. Yep. Let me see if this plays. I know. So hold on. Can you tell him I'm gonna turn my mic off? Tell who? Oh, that's me. I lost that tab. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. What I'm just gonna do is turn my mic off for 1 second. Sorry, whoever's online.
What are the ethical considerations for what are the ethical considerations in using AI for marketing?
Ethical. I mean, I think it makes logical sense. I mean, there's a lot better looking people on the planet Earth than me, and I would want them to sell my product before I sell the product. So I have no ethical. I don't have many ethical issues. Period. Anyway, so I'm not a person to ask about ethics because I'm pretty. My bar is pretty damn low. But I do think that using influencers is for a lot of different businesses just makes logical sense, right? It makes sense for you. Your job is to do conversions. Like I don't have any emotional connection to the business. Convert. I want money.
The second question is about voice AI. Sorry, trying to go back.
Yeah.
Isn't generative AI too slow for two-way voice communication?
Oh no, hell no. We're doing 5,000-10,000 calls a day, and latency is the last thing that we're thinking about. I used to think about latency. Latency is not an issue anymore. I know right now because of Murphy's Law, it's been hitting me all day today. The moment I do a demo, it's gonna be brutal. It's gonna be like a 15 seconds between response times, but I can show you afterward. There really isn't, when it comes to latency these days, that's becoming because that's the factor that's held people back. The company that's gonna win in this game is gonna have the lowest latency, right? That's who's gonna win in this space. So when it comes to voice AI and latency, it's not even the things I think about anymore. Now I'm thinking about how can I integrate data? Because right now on a voice call, so one of the companies I'm working with right now, we're doing debt relief calls where we're pulling credit as the conversation is happening. So as the person is talking, they give us certain information and they're like, hey, can we pull your credit? So this is something that would normally have to happen with the agent on the line. 30, 40-minute conversation, they're finally pulling your credit and getting information about you. Now we don't have to wait for that no more. Right now, I could do a call now where it gets the basic information about you and it's doing an API call in the background. It's getting that information in about your credit or whatever it may be. It might be doing a soft call or whatever. And then it's presenting you new options on base, while the conversation is in flight. So I think that's why I'm excited about voice AI right now, because it's becoming smarter and smarter and smarter. It's allowing me to build super intelligent apps that previously I would have to have somebody looking up information at the same time to make it happen. Okay, go ahead.
You said you had a section also on dark parts.
Well, the dark side stuff was like, so.
You want to share some of that? I don't know if I want to do it, but I want to know.
Well, okay, so some of it has to do with adult entertainment. The adult entertainment world is still very profitable if you are in that space. I'm not encouraging you to do that. I'm not encouraging you to go there. But what I can say is this. I know people who upload videos just the way you upload, just like you upload videos to YouTube. There are other sites you can upload your videos to that YouTube will not allow, that you can optimize using AI. You can optimize that content. So creators, adult creators right now are using AI heavy. Also, if you were at some of my previous presentations, I was demonstrating how we were using AI to recreate body parts in case the talent wasn't available, right? Long story, whatever. But I'm not in that field anymore just because it's just not worth the time at this point. But there is an industry where they will take a picture of your body and then continue to create adult-based content using Stable Diffusion. That way, and they sell it on OnlyFans. And then it's a cash cow, right? So you now have AI answering text messages and messages for OnlyFans. You have creators cloning their bodies into Stable Diffusion and creating these we call them LoRa's, which is like little mini models of themselves in AI. And somebody was like, hey, I want a picture of your legs or whatever else is down there, right? But AI can produce that, right? In a way that's almost a exact replica. And there's an entire industry behind it. Again, it's the dark side. I don't think you should go there. Stay away from it. God we trust. Use wisdom. But the thing I love about it is that if you're creative, you know it's available, you could do some really creative shit, right? Like you can really do some really dynamic stuff with the AI and the voice and learning how to daisy chain these tools together to come up with solutions that you need for your customers. The great thing that I love doing, especially I work with Grant all the time. We're on the phone probably more than we even want to admit to it. And a lot of the things that him and I are doing is we're solving a problem that probably we don't know what the solution is for it, right? A customer is a real estate agent, right? A customer is a real estate agent and they're having a hard time marketing properties because, you know, they don't look well on what's the website? What's the website that you show your house? MLS, right? The houses don't look great on MLS. But we know we can use replicate.com. We can go to one of these models and we can now do virtual staging. I could take out the car. I can use Firefly, which is an Adobe product, or a Photoshop. I can use AI to remove the car that's in front of the house. And those dead bushes, now I can give them a nice little touch up. Seconds, right? I can now take this, I can replace the sky, right? And all the cracks in the cement, I might want to clean that up. Or if I have to virtually stage the house, we're inside of the house now and I need to add furniture to it, we could do that now, right? And these tools are, like I said, they cost nothing. And what differentiates us from anybody else is that we're curious about it. We look. Does it exist? I know it exists. You go to replicate.com, there's always a model for stuff like that. I'm going to see if I can find one while I answer your question over here.
On your own voice. And the reason why I say that is like you can create podcasts, YouTube videos without having to make.
You actually do it for Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have tried to clone my voice. There's something about like it hasn't hit that point where I'm like, yo, that's me for real. It's usually like, oh, that's me. But it's not like, yo, that's me. Like I haven't hit that point where I feel now ElevenLabs and the latest version of ElevenLabs, the most recent update, impressive. So if you use ElevenLabs, check it out. They have some really new their new AI cloning model is absolutely amazing. I haven't used it yet though.
Like how much voice content would you need before it actually captures it? Like,
5 minutes. Yeah. So whenever I clone, so sometimes, if I have to clone one of my TikTokers who are running a campaign for us, let's say a TikToker gives us a video, but they're not saying the stuff we want them to say. Like, yo, you said that wrong, bro. I don't feel like going back and forth with you, right? I'll be like, I'm gonna clone your voice. I'm gonna add that part in there. You're supposed to say Band-Aid, not rubber band, right? And I'm gonna make him say Band-Aid. I'll drop that whole sentence in there, and it will be in almost the exact same voice. And then I can just go back to editing, right? So, but I usually use maybe 30 to 60 seconds of their content. I usually never really use more than that, and it sounds pretty good.
So at the beginning, you were talking about the 3D avatar,
Yes.
and I'm curious about like what is the baseline pricing? You want to create one for yourself or one for your client? So you talked about selling them and creating the influencers. So what is the cost of executing a campaign if you were doing it for yourself?
So you're talking about virtual influencers, and it's because the virtual influencers aren't 3D.
Yeah.
So they're just flat. They're not 3D people.
Okay.
Right. So creating a virtual influencer costs nothing if you're using Stable Diffusion. Right. Or there's a tool on my Mac called I'll find it. But there's the Stable Diffusion model is free. That's what these open source models are for. Right. But there's a source of creating something like that, right? There's a source to taking enough photos and getting it into the system where it understands who this person is, right? And there's a source to it's a lot of iteration and playing around with it. So when it comes to like, so some of the stuff that we're creating now, like that woman that you saw earlier today that I had up there with the Fashion Over fit, she's an 8K model. The resolution of her, you can't tell here on the screen. If you see it on the screen, it's absolutely dead on amazing looking, the quality of it. And you can do that. I'm doing that stuff on my computer now. It's not any, I'm not using special tool. There is no tool that I have in my arsenal that I pay more than $30 for. I do not pay more than $200 a month for any of my tools. The $200 I pay a month is making me some money. So it's not like I'm using stuff that's radical. Like this right here, the stem separator for you to run this is, let me see, it's not zoomed in. It's probably maybe like 5 cents, not even 5 cents, a penny, 2 pennies. And what people do is they build software on top of this, right? The face, the headshot software tools, they're all based on Replicate. The AI, there's models. Let me see if I can put one of those models. They're just using publicly available. It's exactly like Hugging. It's almost exactly like Hugging Face, with the one small caveat is it's meant for you to build on top of. Hugging Face is meant for you to experiment and to interact with, but you don't really build on top of Hugging Face. You can to a certain degree, but this is meant for you to build on top of it. Let me see. No, that's not the right. Oh, that's retalking. So retalking is another thing that you can upload audio and you can remix a video. So you could take now this is actually older technology. This is the older version of video retalking. I don't know why this is on my screen right now. But this is here. This was a photo that they uploaded a WAV file, an MP3 file of somebody talking, and it's mouthing her face to the audio. This is why it's dangerous right now. This is why it's dangerous. But if you have a virtual influencer you created, now you can bring them to life. Now this virtual influencer can be on your Instagram stories telling you to purchase product XYZ. Right. So what you do is you can, what you like the dangerous part about this is the audio. I'm not even sure what the audio is. I don't know what she's saying. It's probably somebody else's voice. Sorry, guys. And there we go. Speaking of that, there's something else I want to show you. 'Cause I wanted to show you this. I forgot about it. So you could take her voice, clone her voice, and then take this original audio and put it into her voice. That's where it gets dangerous. Now, the one thing I do want to show you in ElevenLabs is another way I've been making a little bag online, which is drops, DJ drops. You're gonna be like, what, son? So let me pull up my ElevenLabs. Let me pull up my Fiverr account. And a lot of people think like, why do you we're so, if you think outside the box, right? I was a DJ for years. And one of the things that we live by is those DJ drops. You want to make the world famous, DJ tech. You know what I mean? That type of shit. So, but it's also good for me making video promos and things of that nature. So what I did was I sampled other voices that are DJ voices, right? And then I created, let me see if I can use this really fast. I'm getting a signal from my boy that I got to wrap this up soon. So hold on one second. Let's see if I can pull this up. All right, so GPTuesdays, lock in, Miami, what's good? Okay, now that's how I would say it. So I've sampled a couple DJ voices. I merged them together to kind of create a image, like it's kind of like a model, a mini model, and I sell these online. Tuesdays. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry again. I apologize, everyone. Event that's happening in Miami, and I want like that big voice on top of it, or if I'm selling something like, check this out, I can use a DJ voice. And now the reason why I'm showing this is because it's thinking outside of the box. And now that you know what tools are available, you could do unique stuff in these situations now, right? Now that you know you can improve the quality of the image, or you could transpose a voice to another voice, or you can a myriad of different things that I showed you today. You can now kind of daisy chain things together and think of ways to use it for your own verticals and the own spaces that you're in, right? I'm gonna show 2 more videos, and then I'm gonna wrap up. I'll answer 2 more questions, and then we can get out of here. These gotta be careful. Give me 1 second. Completed videos. Let me see if I can pull up some of the old stuff that some of you guys have probably seen together. Let's see. Anybody have a question while I'm looking this up?
Yeah. What's your most profitable gig in AI stuff?
It's a good question. The most profitable is going to be voice AI for me right now. The second most profitable is the lead generation world, where I'm running ads. Those ads are selling leads to people. Right? That's probably the second. And the third, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Huh? It's random because sometimes you get a client who needs something very unique, and you be like, okay, I'll do that for $5,000 or $2,500, right? So it really depends. But in terms of, okay, got you. Guys, I gotta do it to you one more time. One more time, yo. This is the last time, though, I promise. All right, so here's an I have to keep talking. I'm going to show this video. But honestly, it's the best way for me, right? I at this point in the game, I know how to put a good creative together. I know how to put my offer together. I know how to use AI to create the creative, the ad copy, and I just run it. So that's the best way for me to get customers, especially stuff that has to do with visuals, like stuff for restaurants. Okay. Okay, let me try this one last time. Does anybody else have any questions before I run this video? No? Okay, that's yes. Yes, yes.
Right? So I can create this lady or whomever AI person to be a spokesperson for $35.
You can create AI person to be a spokesperson for $35, you said? What you could do is this. What is the service or offer? What's your offer?
That's something I would have to create, come together, and have her. Right?
So what in certain situations, if I was you, are you doing here? You're selling here, or you're
Sell hair, make wigs, and
okay. If you were doing wigs or you're selling clothing or something that has to do with that line, I'd use AI to put the clothing or the hair on other people. First thing. Second thing is if I'm running an ad about talking about your services, I might do one of those videos where the video of you actually doing the work is larger on the screen. In the corner, you have an AI model that you created that's in your likeness or whatever that's talking in the corner, right? I'll do something like that. That's the way I would run it, that type of campaign. And it's tested. Test with ad copy, test with what words you're using. I thought I can get this video to play, guys. I can't get it to play. So I'm gonna probably just wrap up with maybe one or two more questions, and then we are out of here. Go ahead, brother. So the big ones that are out right now is called Kling, Kling. I could pull up their demos. Kling AI. I'm sorry. Hold on. It's hard for me to see up there, so I think I'm signed in, so let me just sign out so I can show you guys the actual content. So as you can see, right, again, our next event that we're doing, Grant and I are talking about doing a series of entrepreneurial AI events where we're going to get people who make money with AI to demonstrate and show how they make money with AI. Here you go. So this is all AI generated, right? Again, it's free. Kling is free. You can sign up for this right now. So this is the big Chinese one that just came out. So you can upload an image, so you can create a person. Like if you can see, if child inside shot, close up, Chinese child is eating dumplings. You use this for one of your AI campaigns, and now you now have an end-to-end AI campaign. That's dope, right? You can do the ad copy, you can do the visuals. You could take a photo of your product and then ask it to do something with that photo. And that's why I love the space that we're in right now. And like I said, Kling is free. So I think you can do like maybe 10 or 15 videos before it charges you, whatever it charges you. But I mean, the quality is dope. You can run this as TikTok, right? You can run a TikTok campaign that says, your dog's hungry, check out this food. And you do a cut shot to some type of food, right? You run an affiliate marketing campaign where you get 10%, 50% of all the profits. And you just run this thing autonomously. You run it like $10 a day on this ad your ad budget, and you're making money passively at that point. It's just printing money. That's it. I don't think I have anything else. I know I was gonna try to show Udio, so I'll keep my Udio up so you guys can hear the quality of it. Are there any remaining questions? Cool.
Would you say that this tool like Kling and the other one that you were showing, that it's like a repository of other models, like you feel that they're like commercial, like prototyping MVP of business solutions like Kling, that then you need to take into a model like the Replay, so it's scalable as a business, or do you think that Kling and GPT or any other one can like stand alone as a good commercial solution?
It really depends. So here's the thing with AI. You can create an AI business end to end, but the thing is, AI should be your assistant. It should be your quarterback, right? So if you're doing an ad campaign, now you can do your ad campaign doper. If you're already running ads or you're doing visuals or doing something like this, you can now enhance it. If you're already doing audio, or let's say you're running a campaign but you don't have the audio component, you want that extra boost, you now have a tool. It exists. There's something out there exists that can do it for you. Replicate.com, you can just type in what you're looking for, and it's probably a model available for you, right? And again, it costs nothing. This stuff costs nothing, right? We're at a point where kids are using Stable Diffusion on Replicate.com and going to restaurants to charge them $200 to upload photos of virtual food that takes them 15 minutes to create in a restaurant. Like literally, this is happening in real time. So it's like, in terms of how can you make money with this, it really depends on what industry you're in. What I like to demonstrate is that there's a lot of different opportunities out there. There's a lot of different ways you can use these tools, especially when you daisy chain them together, right? There's no such thing as no. If when somebody says, does this exist, assume that it does. You just have to find it. The problem with most people is that they don't look for nothing, right? All these models are a Google search away. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we made a nice little bag early this year, doing grant writing with AI. So that's a whole different ballgame, right? So you can actually write and fill out and respond to grants. We did like a 60-page RFP. Yeah, ours was pretty deep, man. We did one, and we did it like in less than 24 hours, something like that. Yeah, it was. We just we used AI to do. Now, did we get the bid? We didn't get the bid, but other ones we have one, right? So it's like the two spaces that I think are really big disruptors coming up soon is legal, because one, I think for the first time, it's going to add parity to people who are underprivileged or underserved or who don't have opportunities, because now you could come out swinging, putting motions together to defend yourself in ways that you didn't have the opportunity before. Also, like the grant writing and securing business loans and securing like government contracts, where you have to actually present yourself well. AI is an amazing tool for that. So you can have it read the RFP, right? And then you have it read what your business does, and it will marry the two together in a proposal. And you can just sit back and watch. Now, you don't want to sit back and watch. You still want to be part of the process. I would use Gemini. I would use aistudio.google.com, which is Gemini 1.5. Gemini Pro 1.5 is super clutch.
As far as writing, do you feel like any particular AI writes better?
Claude. When it comes to writing, Claude hands down. When it comes to number crunching and putting things together with a massive amount of data, it's definitely going to be Gemini 1.5. My general purpose is always going to be ChatGPT. That's just for my regular running around, just doing little things. Most of my time is spent on Claude. Claude. I mean, there's stuff that we weren't able to get into this. Like Claude allows you to build apps and tools and things that on the fly, and you can do some super amazing stuff with Claude. Yes. Well, that's a complicated question. So if you're looking just to hire a group of people to build an app for you, well, you have your like the Upworks and those companies that are, there's developers on there looking for work, right? And then you have people who are looking at a low code, no code world who could probably do the same thing, believe it or not, right? So it's just. What I tell people, put what you're trying to do out there, right? First of all, make sure it hasn't been done yet. If it has been done, you might want to make sure you do it better than everyone else is doing it, But in terms of finding like a no coder, there's websites for that also. You can go on Fiverr and find no coders, But a lot of the stuff you can do yourself if you have the time. I think look into the no code world. Yeah, so jump into Claude and feel like, hey, I want to create a no-code application that does X, Y, Z. Right? Come on, Grant, you come up. I want to create a no-code application, right? And it will walk you through the process of doing it. Now, I'm spinning up apps for the most wildest stuff right now. Like, it's almost disrespectful some of the stuff I'm getting away with, you know. And you can do everything from dating apps to food and whatever it may be. But here's the thing: you can do it now. That's the most important part of this. Like, you can do it now. All right, Grant.
All right, everyone. That was amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Things isn't working right now, the mic, but amazing presentation by Micah. I think a lot of us learned so much more than we do before. That's really the goal of this, these weekly community meetups, so that we can learn a little bit more every single week. And today we learned a lot about different tools, about replicate, STEM separation, and many different other tools that we can help utilize and integrate into our systems, into our businesses, et cetera, and so that we can be more effective and stay ahead by using these tools as opposed to, not using these AI tools and falling a little bit behind. So thank you again, Micah, for teaching all of us about how to secure the bag.
Yes.
So a few things. One, we're a community group, and we survive because of people like you and you coming and showing us your support. So if you can just do us a favor, just plug us on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, share that hashtag at us, and we really appreciate that. Share the pictures, videos.
Please
do it. Please, so helpful. Another thing is we have a Telegram community chat. So after this, we'll be sharing that on the screen here. The Telegram community chat is where you can find all of us for free. All of us there's around 230 of us in there, AI engineers, builders, entrepreneurs, et cetera, all using AI every day. Feel free to ask us any questions. We're a very helpful bunch, very warm group. Fourth, parking validation is in the front. So if you're parking in the parking lot, please grab that parking validation. It'll save you some money. Bring it down to $10. Last but not least, the next presentation. We have one for August 6th and August 13th. We're still looking for someone for the 6th. So if anyone is working on an interesting AI project, engineering, research related, or business related, very interested, feel free to talk to me. On the 13th, we'll be having Alexi. He's a PhD in computer science. He'll be teaching us about PyTorch Lightning. Very, very brilliant guy. And he's a senior staff data scientist over at Grid Analytics, I believe. Might be Grid Dynamics, but don't quote me. But anyways, thank you again all so much for coming. We look forward to seeing you next week or any other time. We're here every single Tuesday.
Every single Tuesday.
Yeah, feel free to just get networking and talking. Looking forward to meeting all of you.
Yes. If you go to the Telegram group, anything you want, we'll drop it in there. It's the easiest way to do it. So any questions that you have, we're gonna put it up on the screen in a second.
All right, like that.